All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today's topic is going to be SMTs. So what is an SMT? Well, an SMT is, in short, essentially just a divergence within the markets. When you have a correlating pair like NQ and ES, very often you'll see that their chart correlates with one another to a T. So here we have NQ on the 4-hour versus ES on the 4-hour. NQ, ES. Now I know I have a lot of little drawings over here, but we'll get to those in a second. As you guys can see though, right, because they are correlating pairs, they move together with one another. So as you can see, these two assets correlate with one another, and when you have an SMT, all that means is that they are not following one another. So the rule of thumb usually for me when looking for SMTs is that ES is always going to be the stronger pair compared to NASDAQ, right? Because ES is your top 500 stocks, whereas NASDAQ only is comprised of your top 100 tech stocks, right? And an example can be seen over here. So when we look back into February, close to the start of the year, right? This is still the 4-hour chart. You can see we made a low here and then we made a higher low, meaning we didn't come down and break this low. Whereas if I come over here to the NASDAQ, you can see that we made a low here and we actually came down, swept that low before then making our move for higher, right? ES versus NQ. And so by knowing this in confluence with, your daily bias, right, finding good entries on lower time frames, you can then predict that the market is going to want to actually reverse and reach for a buy side level of liquidity. And in these cases, you can see, right, our ES made the higher low. We went and reached for our buy side liquidity, and NQ created the SMT divergence where we actually broke the low, and we then bounced and reversed out and reached for our buy side liquidity up here, right? So that would be an example of a bullish divergence that we look for. ES doesn't break the low, NQ does break the low, right? ES continues to trend with its bias, and the NASDAQ is now kind of playing catch up. Now, if I jump over here into these little circles I got marked out, we can see some SMTs on some lower time frames. Okay, so now here we're at Tuesday, May 7th. So this was just only last week. And this was actually one of the trades that I had called out and noted to the team, looking for short here. So as you can see, right, our ES goes, breaks the high that we made over here, whereas our NQ failed to break that high. And then we started to race down with displacement. Like I said, these SMTs, you can't take trades off of solely on their own. There has to be other things in confluence with one another. In this case, on the lower time frame, I had a market structure shift fair value gap. I think there was an inverse fair value gap somewhere in here as well that I was keeping an eye on. And on top of that, a bunch of displacement up here, which I would have liked for us to see get rebalanced, right? And that's exactly what we did. So this right here is another example of an SMT, in this case being a bearish SMT. So ES makes the high, NQ fails to follow through and smash the high, and then we start to roll over. I would like to also note, like I said, ES is almost like the bigger brother in the situation of the pairs, so we always want to see what ES is wanting to do first. So you'd want to look for inversions, right, and weakness in ES before entering a position on your NQ, just in case if we do decide to continue up higher and NQ completely disrespects this SMT. So now here we have another example. So this was at the start of the month, Wednesday, May 1st. You can see that NQ over here, London session, right? We open, market open, ends up trading down and sweeping our London session, into which then it starts to rally in the PM. Whereas if we take a look here at ES, you can actually see that we had our London session, market open. We did come down, but we did not sweep the London session lows. This is a valid bullish divergence, showing that ES is holding strength and that it's looking to make its move for higher, right? In this case, you can see we reached straight into this inefficiency up here before then selling completely off again, right? So here you can see you have NQ, right? Breaks the low, whereas ES fails to break the low, meaning it's holding its strength and we're looking for higher. All right, guys. So yeah, that basically kind of sums up SMTs. I hope I covered it pretty well. Just kind of brief showing how we look for our bullish SMTs, what we look for in our bullish SMTs, and what we look for in our bearish SMTs. But yeah, guys, that just kind of sums up SMTs and how we look for them. Like I said, it's important you guys understand it's just divergences, right? You want to see ES and Q move together and flow together as one. And so whenever you see these kind of divergences, right, ES takes the high where NQ fails to take the high, right, that can show weakness in the market. These are just things to note, right, and use, like we always say, in confluence with other technical analysis, right? So whether it be an order block somewhere within here, a fair value gap, inverse fair value gap, as well as having your premium discount array set up, right? All these things play a crucial role and they all come in conjunction with one another. But yeah, if you guys do have any further questions regarding SMTs, please feel free to reach out through our questions channel located in the Discord server.